Welcome back, everyone, to the rebuild of this Troy-Bilt 21-inch. It's been a little while. Sorry about that. But I've been waiting on a few things, and I've been just a tad bit busy. So, anyway, I'm going to start by putting the intake manifold back on. And since the intake gasket got destroyed, here's the part number, 794306, and that's going to go right here. And we'll get that on here in just a minute, and I'll bring you back. My gimbal died, so I've got to get it recharged, and hopefully we'll get back in business. Stay tuned. All right. I got y'all on a tripod. My gimbal just, I don't know, it's acting silly. But anyway, got the intake manifold on, just a 1/4-inch nut driver. Put those back on. We're going to start flying through this, gang. I need to get this done. So I'm going to start putting things back on here. I know we got some shields that need to go on, if I can remember where they go. That's always a good question, isn't it? Where do they go? So this one comes around here, I know that. Okay. Got a little tiny bolt in the bottom. I believe that's 1/4 inch as well. Okay. Some of these, that one goes on the front. Try not to get my big head in your way. Okay. That gets held on by that. I think that needs to go underneath that head bolt. Yeah, let me get that head bolt back out of there. Wrestling these things injured. That blue Loctite does wonders. We'll get this one out of here and get that bracket back on. Now we're just going to snug it up when we go to put that back on there. Should be a 10mm bolt around here somewhere. That looks like it. 10mm nut driver. That holds the bracket that holds the carburetor on. should do it. Got that baby on there. So now, where is, okay, here comes our linkage, carburetor, all that good stuff. O-ring goes over the intake manifold, the intake tube, whatever you want to call it. I like to leave it a little proud, and then when I put the carburetor on there, it pushes it back and keeps it nice and centered. Get this arm over here. These are 10 mil. Got to get this governor arm back on here too. We'll get that governor set afterwards. This two 10 millimeter bolts holds the carburetor on. Ow, that really hurts. Go ahead and tighten up the other 10 mil. There we go. That comes over here. Actually, that needs to go in there. There we go. And then when we put the muffler back on, we'll put that right through there between those lines. All right. This goes in the hole. That gets clipped in that loop, what I call a paper clip spring. Looks like a paper clip on the one end. Gets caught in there. Here's our governor arm. Get that dirt off of there. I'll show you how to adjust that governor later. But for right now, we're just going to get it on. I don't remember if it goes that way or... Yeah, it's got to go this way so it has room to actuate. Let's see, that's the governor in this thing is actually back this direction because it rides this way and pushes out. So we'll push it back this way. Let's go ahead and get it on here. The good old Z-bend. At least this way we got a fighting chance of it being in the right orientation. Okay. I'm gonna go get a little 10 mil wrench. I'll be right back. So we're just going to tighten this down to where it's got some movement on it. That's full throttle right there. And that's full throttle right there all the way to the front. underneath actually fits better on there. So there we go. Got that on there. And this shroud, I believe it goes right here. So we'll go ahead and put it back on with our 10 mil nut driver. Just hold it kind of level there. Because it'll pull itself in there where it needs to be. If you need to tweak it, bend it a little bit, you can. So it goes up underneath that shroud. You've got the main shroud that goes down in this little groove right here. All right. What are we gonna put on next, gang? How about we put the muffler back on? Whoops! Don't drop it. Be right back. Let's see if it fits. Okay, these muffler bolts here are going to be 11 mil. And we got a little finagling to do here. We have a gasket. Let's see, that seals directly to the block. This goes on here because this has to move like so. It doesn't go around it. Goes inside of it like this. Hope you can see that. So it's a gasket, thermostat, gasket, muffler. There's another spring up here that I'll put on when I get the shroud back on. For that air vane. I don't know if you can see it, but this little tiny spring right here is to pull this air vane back. So there's a clip right here, and there's one right here. So I'm gonna put one here. I'm gonna clip it on the air vane itself, and that holds it back. Okay. So it operates freely. This is not too tight. Throttle works. Okay, good to go. I guess we can go ahead and put our flywheel back on. Okay, here's our key. Our flywheel key's in good shape. Here's your flywheel. We are going to line up the groove. And we're going to slide this bad boy down in here. Lift it up just a hair. Put the key down in there like so. Then we're going to put the cup on and the nut. Don't cross thread that thing, man. You will not be happy if you do. I gotta go get an impact real quick. I'll be right back. Alright. I want to say this is 7/8. Nope. It's probably going to be 15/16. Yeah. Going to hit that a few times. Noise alert. Okay. Now that's back on. Let's go ahead and put our coil back on. Gotta get a business card. Actually, let me grab a new business card. Got too many olds floating around. Where are you? Oh, over here somewhere. Where did you get? Are you hiding over here? Why, yes you are. These are my shop business cards. We'll use one of those to set the air gap on the coil. So we're going to take the coil and we're going to make sure everything's clean. I'm going to hit that with a wire wheel real quick. Oops. Alright, I just went ahead and knocked the dirt off of these contacts here and some on the bottom where they make contact. Gotta find my coil wire. Where's it hiding at? Y'all know where I left it? Where is my kill wire? Oh, I bet you I know where it's at. Probably still on the assembly. Yep. That's exactly where it was. On the assembly. So we want it to come out this side to connect to that assembly. So we'll connect this. We're going to connect the kill wire on the bottom of that. And it actually needs to come out this side and stay away from the coil. So we'll bring it this direction. Probably down, yeah, under that breather tube. Let me take it off here so I can do that. Under the breather tube, over here. That's not good. I ain't gonna go through there. You basically just want to mount this so it's away from the flywheel, so it doesn't have any chance of getting caught up. So now I can come up to that mechanism there. No, that's gonna melt on the muffler. Well, we can't have that melted on the muffler, so let's just get in here and get it that way. All right. Put it on here. Then you got two, get that magnet out of the way. You got 2/4 inch bolts here that hold the coil onto the mount. Gotta get it right. You know, every time the FedEx guy comes up and down the street, it's always a crapshoot. Is that for me? Is that mine? You want to pull this away from the flywheel. Loosely tighten those down. Then spin the magnet around where the magnet is in front of the coil. Take your trusty business card, which is about 10 thousandths thick. Put your business card in there. Then loosen your 2 bolts, and the magnet will pull the coil. Did you hear that? Listen. All right. The magnet will pull the coil up against the business card, which is approximately 10 thousandths thick, and it will keep your air gap 10 thousandths between your coil magnet, or your coil and your flywheel magnet. All right. So there we have that. Okay. Plug wire on. Keep that through there. And I believe that is everything that goes on top of the engine. So let's put the top shroud on here and double check. That magnet is pain when you go to put this back on. So air vane's working, thermostat working, springs are working. All right. I'm gonna make sure this goes down in there like so. Again, I said you might have to bend this because it's been bent all which way. Something's keeping us out of this other shroud there. Okay. There we go. That's better. That's down. Okay. We were missing one of these bolts earlier, I believe. Where's that at? that spring popped off for some reason. We don't need that to happen again. Let's take this plug wire down through here and then around. Make sure it clicks. That went on there way better this time. Okay. All right. You got your 2 bolts in the front. You'd be surprised how much trouble that plug wire can cause you. You're just getting in that crack between that bracket. Kind of crazy, I know, but it's true. Girl, you know it's true. There's a song in there somewhere, isn't there? I'm gonna put my bandage back on. Okay, where's our tin? So as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, there's no real fancy tools needed. This is going back together. You don't have to worry about a bunch of torque specs and all that. As Terrell says, it's a lawnmower, not the space shuttle. There's a lot of truth in that. Some things are can be kind of technical when you get down to in play and in gaps and all that kind of stuff, but for the most part, something like this, it's like they should be able to make toy sets like this and sell them for Christmas so everybody can put their stuff back together. Okay, I'm gonna get a breather tube, put that on there. We're going to reattach our dipstick tube, clean it off before we go putting it back on. That thing's pretty gnarly. Well, you saw the condition of this thing when I first started with it. It was pretty bad. So we've got a little O-ring down here at the bottom. I want to make sure that's good and clean. I don't want to introduce any foreign objects into the crankcase that you don't have to, you know. So we got this 8mm, hold the dipstick to the shroud. Okay, get some of this other dirt off of here that we don't need. All right, I'm gonna take a flat blade screwdriver and a hammer. I'm gonna fold these ears back up on this noise alert. What I was doing there, folks, was just folding the tabs up on the muffler bolt so they don't back out from expanding and contracting. They'll work out, and the shaking, you know how lawnmowers shake all the time. So, but, okay, that's that. We can, no, I messed up. I gotta take the shroud back off. It's all right. Looks like we're going to get the engine back on the no big deal. We'll put the engine back on the frame, and then we'll put all this other stuff back on. And then it won't be long then. Sometimes I get ahead of myself. Forgot to put that, I left the cable attached to the control assembly, like the dead man switch, and I needed to put it back on before I put the shroud back on, so it's not a problem. Just 4 little bolts. Took the dipstick tube back off. Get this shroud back off for the 12th time. Okay, I gotta do some cleaning up in here, and I'll get the deck back up on the table, and then we'll get this set back on. So you all just hang out. All right, well, I got the deck back up here. Let's go ahead and plop the engine on and grab one of our engine mounting bolts. This is where you got to get creative to at least get one of them in here. I like to just go ahead and thread that one in there by hand. So when I lift this up, it doesn't fall. Can you still see that? Oh yeah. This way you can slide the engine around. To get your other 2 bolts in there. Okay. Now what size are those? Are those 9/16? No, those are half. And we'll just buzz these in. There they are. Okay. So while I got this up here, I'm going to go ahead and put the blade back on. See what size bolt that is. Probably 5/8, which I don't have over here. Bear with me. It won't be long now, gang. Alright, so we got our blade adapter, aka blade boss. I'm going to put some anti-seize on there. I have this all over my face by the time this is over with. So just going to put some anti-seize on the shaft there. Put that blade boss on there. It's gonna slide off now. It's not it's anti-seizing. Put the blade back on. Blade down, curved up. Put some anti-seize just like this. Just to keep those things from sticking together. Make it easier to get it off after a while. It wouldn't hurt to put a little bit on the bottom too, where that retainer goes on there. Okay. So now we got blade boss. We got the blade. And we got the retainer and the bolt. And we'll hit that with the impact. 5 or 6 doogas. Maybe 8. Alright, then that's all that under there, guys. Can you still see? Yeah. Okay, so what we're doing now is we're going to backtrack. We're going to go ahead and put this control mechanism back on after we put the kill wire through the hole here. Just push down the little spring tab. Then there's 2 bolts on top. I believe those are 8s. There's only 2 holes it can go in, so you can't really get it wrong. Let me pin that dead man back. There we go. Magnet is in the way again. So you got 2 8mm bolts that hold this whole assembly on, and it's indexed in those 2 bosses there, so it can really only set in one place. You'll see when you go to put it back on. We are getting close, gang. Okay, coil wire's on. Cable's still connected. Okay. How about we put the shroud on now? There we go. 10 mil, where are you? Yeah, these holes are lining up like crazy now. Sometimes you may have to pull that to get it to drop down. Those dogs in the flywheel cup. Okay. I'll get these 2 on in the back. I'm gonna need a new bandage here pretty soon. Sweating out here. Making sacrifices for y'all. No fans. No fans for my fans. It's not that hot out here, actually. It's only 76 out here in the shop right now. There's just no air moving through. It's kind of humid. Those are on, that still works. 8mm dipstick tube again. And we'll get some petrol and dinosaur juice in here. Get some dinosaur syrup and some dinosaur juice in here. Some go juice. Okay, that's on. So now we're going to put our fuel tank on. I gotta go get my pliers, hang on. Alright. Gonna have to turn this a little crooked here so I can get the fuel line on. Gotta get a new fuel clamp too. Let me go grab one. Okay. No anti-seize on me. That's good. Good, you can see that as long as I stay out of your way, right? Fuel clamp. Fuel line. Slide this fuel clamp back up to fuel line. So he says. Okay, and we got the big 10mm bolt. It goes back here. The spacer stayed on there, so we got lucky as far as that's concerned. Then we got these 3 8mm shoulder bolts up here. The ones we had to take out with a magnet because I can never get my fingers in there to get them out. So we're going to get some oil in this thing, and we're going to give her a yank and see if she pops off after we get the card back on, or the breather assembly, which is going on next. Bolts. Where do these bolts go? Now that came off the old engine. Came off the old block. Chip off the old block. So it looks like our breather tube is down here. So we'll get that on. We've got 3 8mm bolts here. These are all the same. Usually aren't. One's usually for metal and the other two are for plastic, but in this case they're all metal because the carb is made out of metal. This is not a plastic carb like some of them have. I'm sorry, I misspoke. This one doesn't have this one never has a plastic carb on it. And I didn't clean the carb, or you didn't see me clean the carb anyway, because I had already cleaned it, trying to get it to run when the customer first brought it in. Okay, filter is terrible. Let me grab another filter. See that? Terrible. That's what they're supposed to look like. Not that. Door on. Filter in. I'm gonna go grab about 500 milliliters of oil. Be right back. All right. So we got about 500 mils of oil there. Put that back. And we'll double check it. All we're trying to do is get close right now. But we're on the money. There we go. Okay, I gotta find one. We do have fuel. A little. I'll go ahead and throw some more in there. Not a whole lot. Let me set this right in your face. That should do it. Had to grab at least one handlebar bolt. Just to keep it from falling over. There we go. Okay. Fuel cap. Plug is on. Blade is on, tightened down. New filter, oil's in. Coil wire. Kill wire, I should say. All right, well, let's get this, before we put the pretty plastics back on, let's go ahead and stop here and we'll get it on the floor and we'll get her fired up. Stay tuned. All right, everybody, she's on the floor. Got an auto choke on it, so there's no priming. You just saw me put it back together. And through the whole process, you saw me go from broken to possibly a good machine. Let me get the cord up here. Tighten it down. How many pulls do you think she's going to take, Kenny? 1, 2? Let me see if you're still watching. Yep, there you are. Oh. May not start at all. Bad noise under it. This is definitely the kind of stuff that happens, though, when you least expect it. Put it all back together, and it don't work. See if she likes that. Well, it looks like we're going to have to do a little bit more diagnosing. Well, at least we're further along than we were when we first started. Before, it was so far gone that I couldn't do anything with it. We'll get her back on the bench, and I'll see y'all next time for some evaluation. Talk to you later. All right, everybody, let's try this again. We had spark, we had fuel, but I don't know if the plug was any good because it was an original Briggs and Stratton plug. So I put in a new RJ19LN. Let's see if this goes. She's still not going. She popped. One more time. We're right down the yap. Almost. All right, folks. I'm showing you this real time, so next time you see it, it might be in the dumpster. No, I'm just teasing. We'll get it figured out. She popped off a couple times there, so she's wanting to fire. She's getting fuel, got oil, new spark plug. Could be that I adjusted the governor the wrong way, so we'll see. I'll try that next. Stay tuned. Well, welcome back, everybody. Bad news on this mower. I did a compression check, and I'll leave a still photo here for you to see. And we got about 15 pounds of compression. There's no way it's going to run like that. So fortunately that we learned a few things, but however, unfortunately, we also learned that sometimes it doesn't pay to waste your time on something like this. So the moral of the story is, albeit that I've only got $40 in this machine, the fact of the matter is that sometimes you just gotta let them go. You can't win them all, can't fix them all. Now granted, this one could still be fixed, but it's gonna take a lot more time and take it all apart again and put a whole new set of rings in there, which I should have done in the first place, but I was trying to cheap out. So that's me paying the price to teach you that sometimes they're better left alone. So until next time, you all take care of each other. And don't forget, it's donut time.
It has been a pleasure having you all here. Please don't forget to give this video a like and please subscribe. Last but not least, click the notification bell so you will know when new videos are posted. Thanks to all of you for your support.